Hi, my name's Rose and I'm going to be RGS in Waterford. The reason I joined this course was because I'm really interested in museums and everything like museums have to offer. I was drawn to these clogs because they have the name Nelly on the sole, so rather than just being an object, because it has a name on them, it becomes more human and you can relate to it more. I wanted to try and find out who Nelly was. We used the knowledge we gathered about the wearing of infant clogs in the mid-Victorian era to try and find out who Nelly was. Considering that the clogs were dated around 1885, we searched the Lancashire Birth, Marriage, Death Index from 1880 to 1886, and there were 7 girls born named Nelly in Rawtenstall. Nellie Proudlove, born 1882, Nellie Pollard, born 1885, Nellie Barnes, born 1885, Nellie Cooper, born 1886, Nellie Barnes, born 1884, Nellie Dewhurst, born 1885, and Nellie Midgley, born 1882. We originally thought that Nellie was a nickname for Ellen or Helen, but found that it was a very popular forename in the last Victorian and early Edwardian era, particularly in 1895 to 1915. Given the shoes were in good condition, we thought it unlikely that it had been passed around a number of siblings. Nellie Midgley, for example, had 10 brothers and sisters. Sadly, a couple of the girls died before they were 1 year old, including Nellie Barnes. We then discounted the families who were unlikely to have the money to buy clogs for an infant pre-working age. For example, Nellie Dewhurst lived at Holm Field near Crawshire Booth, but her father was a labourer, so according to the clog expert at Colne Valley Museum, the family would have been too poor to afford shoes for their very young children. It's unlikely we'll ever find out who Nellie was, but our best guess that it was Nellie Proudlove, who was born on the 11th of February 1882 and baptised at St Mary's Church in Rawtenstall on the 19th of June. She was the daughter of William Proudlove, a clerk who went on to become a ledger based on Bank Street, according to the baptism records. Being a ledger meant that his income would have been at least £25 per year, and also his handwriting would have been very neat. He would have had access to ink and a quill or fountain pen, hence the ability to write on the sole. Nellie had a twin sister, Annie, who was named after her mother, and they didn't have any further children. Would this have been the reason that one of the shoes was labelled so their clogs didn't get mixed up? Without travelling to the registry in Preston, we can't find any further records of Nellie Proudlove. We are unsure if she made it into adulthood. We are romanticising that the Mrs. A. Taylor who donated the clogs to the museum in 1963 could even be Nellie's twin sister Annie. Maybe she wanted to make sure the clogs were kept for prosperity by the museum, rather than risking them being thrown away by family members. She would have been 81 years old at the time. We also know that the clogs were handmade in Crawshire Booth by the cottage industry, so a clogger would have made these in his own home. At the time, there would have been around 4 or 5 different cloggers in villages like Rawtenstall alone. One of the last remaining cloggers we know of was still in use at 8 Parrock Street in Crawshire Booth, Garside's Footwear, in the 80s, where according to a trade listing from 1981, a clogger called Jim McNeil was still making clogs to order from this address. However, we checked the historical maps and Parrot Street did not exist in 1885. We did find a very popular clogger at 530 Burnley Road in Crawshire Booth in the mid to late Victorian times, so that would fit very nicely. Currently, this property is for sale,